All right, good evening, everyone. It is now 6 o'clock on May the 11th, 2023. I'd like to welcome you all to Richland County Council's budget public hearing. This is an opportunity for council to hear from members of the public regarding the proposed budget for the upcoming fiscal year. And so with that in mind, Madam Clerk, I will ask you to take the roll. Oh, and I almost forgot, this meeting will now come to order.
Brenham.
Here.
Pugh.
Here.
McBride. Here. Livingston.
Here.
Teratio.
Here.
Weaver.
Here.
Barron.
Here.
Walker.
Here.
Mackey.
Here.
English.
Present.
Newton.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Also let the record reflect that Councilwoman Barron as well as Councilman Pugh are attending tonight's public hearing virtually according to our rules. They are both away on business out of town, but they have made the effort to be present virtually for tonight. Next item on the agenda is item 2, adoption of the agenda. Are there any changes, additions, or deletions to the agenda? There being none, entertain a motion.
Second.
It's been moved to properly second. Any discussion? There being none, Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Brenham.
Yes.
Pugh.
Yes.
McBride.
Yes.
Livingston.
Yes.
Teratio.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
English.
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Next item on the agenda is item 3, which is our public hearing. It's been brought to my attention that we have several people signed up tonight to speak. It's also possible that we could potentially run over the allotted time, for public hearings per council rules. So at this time, I would entertain a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All right, it's been moved to properly second.
And that would allow everybody who signed up to speak, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. Any discussion? All right, there being none, Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Brenham.
Yes.
Pugh.
Yes.
McBride.
Yes.
Livingston.
Yes.
Teratio.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Walker.
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
English.
Yes.
Newton.
Yes.
Motion approved.
All right. Item on the agenda is item 3A. This is an ordinance to raise revenue, make appropriations, and adopt an annual budget for fiscal year 24 for Richland County, South Carolina for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023 and ending June 30 of 2024, so as to raise revenue, make appropriations, and amend the general fund, millage agencies, special revenue funds, enterprise funds, and debt service funds budget for Richland County, South Carolina for fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023 and ending June 30th, 2024. That public hearing is now open. Madam Vice Chair, anyone sign up to speak?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and I would like to just point out for the record, our sign-in sheets did not reflect whether or not this was for A or B. So I just want to let you know these folks are just signing up to speak in general for tonight's public hearing. So let me say this. We do have several people, so I'm going to call 2 names at a time. And when I call your names, one can go to this mic, one go to the other, just to keep us moving this evening. Each person will have up to 2 minutes to speak, and you'll hear a timer when that 2 minutes is ended, and we'd ask at that time you please conclude your remarks. All right. Ebony Gadsden and Della Watkins. Ma'am, would you start by stating your first and last name as well as your address, and then you'll have 2 minutes to speak.
Ebony Gadsden, 556 Charleston Estates Lane, Columbia 29223. Good evening, members of council. I would like to bring greetings from the staff and board of directors for Keep the Midlands Beautiful. I do want to thank you for allowing me just a few moments on tonight as we respectfully request approval of funding for fiscal year 2024. As some of you may know, Richland County, in partnership with Lexington County, the City of Columbia, and the Greater Columbia Chamber of Commerce were instrumental in founding our organization in 1989 and have since been partners as we work to eliminate litter in our community. So we have made extreme progress in that area, but obviously it remains a problem. And we know that there's still a great need to engage citizens, to educate citizens, and provide opportunities outside of what our solid waste and special services are able to provide. Speaking of solid waste and special services, they are partners of ours, and our goal is to not duplicate any services that they provide, but supplement those. Some that are most recognizable are the Richland County recycling events that Solid Waste hosts, the most recent one on April 22nd. We provide staff, volunteers, and we cover the shred services that residents are able to use. We also work with special services in looking for illegal dump sites and any homeless encampments and providing supplies and volunteers to make sure those are all cleared up. So a very interesting relationship because we're a nonprofit. Most people don't realize that we work that closely with the county in those areas, but that's pretty much what we were founded to do and have continued to do so. That's pretty much evidence based on the almost 200,000 pounds of litter that our volunteers were able to collect in 2022. So as of today, we have had about 6,000 volunteers who completed 26,000 hours of service last year. And that's pretty much how we track each year. So
Thank you.
thank you for that.
Ms. Watkins.
Good evening. I'm Della Watkins. I'm the Executive Director of the Columbia Museum of Art, 1515 Main Street, District 4, in the heart of downtown Columbia. I personally reside in District 5. Thank you for your civic leadership and the opportunity to present. I hope that the Council will consider the Columbia Museum of Art's important request for vital hospitality tax funding this year. As the only international art museum in the state, we're an integral partner to Richland County by both driving tourism and serving its residents. 36% of our visitors travel more than 50 miles to visit Richland County, and we serve 135,000 individuals a year. For 73 years, the CMA has been a cultural anchor in Richland County. It's especially significant that our school children are interacting with world-class art, complex ideas, and cultures. Art inspires us. It connects society to the present and the past. It encourages community cohesion and stimulates growth in the sector of our economy. Every day, we are sparking powerful connections between art around the corner and around the world in an environment that welcomes all. We encourage you to witness the investment you've made in us in the past and come see us. We partner with the council members individually to offer no charge admission for special access days. Our next free access day is Juneteenth on June 19th. Our momentum is unstoppable. This summer, we will feature works by South Carolina citizens of the Catawba Nation and artist Tina Brewer, who is known for her story quilts that symbolize African-American history. Additionally, this fall, get ready for a blockbuster, because fashion will be underway as the East Coast will have the only opportunity to show the renowned designer Alexander McQueen. Thank you again for your long-standing partnership and support of our museum.
Thank you. Next is Tommy Stringfellow and Andrew Boozer. You would state your first and last name, your address, and you have 2 minutes.
All right, great. Thank you. I'm Tommy Stringfellow. Personal address is 705 Maple Street in Richland County, and then the zoo is at 500 Wildlife Parkway in Columbia at 29210. I'm the president and CEO, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come say thank you for the support that you guys have given us for, guess what, we're turning 50 next year and have a great big celebration planned for 50 years, but for over 49 years, this county has been a partner of ours and has been steadfast in helping us grow and helping us support with funds that allow us to do some of the things that we will always continue trying to do, and that is allow schools in Richland and Lexington County and free year-round because of the support. Same thing for giving residents free admissions on days during the year to thank them for their support through the county, and to recognize that the local community supports us so much through that we couldn't be where we are without you. Also, some of the new programs that we just initiated that is also supported through this, the SNAP benefits program we recently partnered with DSS will now allow all those financially challenged to purchase a ticket at the zoo for $5 year-round. And we've seen probably I think it was 6,000 take advantage of that just in the last 2 months. And we feel good about that because that's not only local but statewide, and feel like we're able to contribute back to those that don't have that opportunity. Also, the military, we do programs where we allow free active duty military to come in, especially during graduation on Thursday nights. And so we get to recognize them during their graduation, as well as those that come any other time with a deep discount as long as they have a military card that they can show at the gate. In addition to that, we do some other programs like Toucan Tuesdays, one of my favorite, where if you bring 2 cans, then you get to take care of Harvest Hope. So thank you so much. Got a lot to talk about in just those 2 minutes. So
That's your time.
Thank you so much for your
All
time.
right. Mr. Boozer, first and last name, your address, please.
Sure. Andrew Boozer. I'm with Senior Resources, which is headquartered at 2817 Millwood Avenue here in Columbia, 29205. On behalf of the seniors of Richland County, I want to thank Council for your tremendous support over the last 55 years. As a designated Council on Aging for Richland County through Central Midlands Council of Governments, Senior Resources provides critical services to our vulnerable and homebound seniors all across our county. In neighboring counties, services like ours are often provided through county government or through direct millage. In Richland County, I'm honored to say we have a public-private partnership model that's proven effective and efficient. Rather than relying solely on tax dollars, we leverage county funds so that every dollar you invest is returning over $6 from other sources, from private, state, and federal funds. The county is typically somewhere 15 to 20% of our total budget, and our budget ratio for direct programming exceeds industry standards, so that your county dollars are being directly impacted on the seniors in our community. Over the last 2 years, the council has redirected our funding to come only from designated COVID dollars. While we're thankful and grateful to meet the needs of our seniors, these COVID dollars are only used can only be used for meal programs, and that has put into jeopardy our other programs that do not qualify for the COVID funding. For decades, general fund dollars provided a whole breadth of services for seniors, the largest being Meals on Wheels, which serves over 200,000 meals in every zip code in our county, and 4 senior centers, but historically also did other things like ADA transportation, in-home care, and evidence-based exercises available at no cost to seniors. These funds from the county were critical to providing federal match dollars for AmeriCorps senior programs, which goes into Title I elementary schools to help teachers in our classroom. I request that the council consider restoring our general fund and the amount that was prior to the switch to ARPA relief. We currently do have an ARPA grant request, which is the awarding has been delayed, but is still in process, and I will hear soon that those will be approved. And while we'd certainly like to be in both the general fund and the ARPA funding, that's not my request. We don't want to double dip. We just want to make sure that we can take care of the seniors that have relied on us. And I hope that there will be consideration
Mr. Boozer.
of those funds. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Dr. Burge, and is it Lee Wacevic?
Leah Weisevic.
Leah Weisevic. I apologize. Dr. Sandra Burge here. Go right ahead, ma'am. Your first and last name as well as your address. You have 2 minutes.
Leah Weisevic. I'm the interim executive director of Sister Care, 1931 Pineview Road, Columbia, South Carolina, 29209. I'm grateful for this opportunity to present in front of you. Richland County Council. Richland County has supported Sister Care for many, many, many years. And we are looking to restore general funds from County Council so that we can continue providing our services. We provide trauma-informed services to advocate for domestic violence survivors and their children, and to promote prevention of domestic violence through community awareness and training. and our services are so needed in Richland County. We served 158 Richland County residents in our emergency shelters. These are survivors of domestic violence and their children actively fleeing domestic violence situations. We provide them safe space. We provide them counseling and resources. We provide them anything they need, basic needs to get back on their feet, help with getting jobs or continuing their education. And of course, all of our services are provided free of charge. And we also provide a 24/7 crisis line so that we have advocates, trauma-informed advocates standing by 24/7. We serve nearly 1,000 Richland County residents on our 24/7 crisis line in 2022, providing them advocacy, resources, and the opportunity for safety. In the Richland County community, we provide various services like court advocacy, transitional housing and permanent housing, where we have rental units located right here in Richland County, children and family counseling, and we also have a community accompaniment response team. Prisma Richland is one of our partners for that program. We also provide teen outreach for children and youth in our community so that we can help break that intergenerational cycle of violence. And in our community-based services, we served 1,733 Richland County survivors of domestic violence and their children in 2022. So again, Richland County Council has always been such a great supporter of Sister Care. It is so important to have the support of you and other community partners so that we can continue providing this great need to those that we serve. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Sandra Berger. I'm chair of the Board of Directors of the Lurie Center. The Lurie Center is located at 16450 Park Circle in the downtown. In 2030, 1 in 5 Americans will be 65 or over. And in 2020, South Carolina ranked 10th in the percentage of 65 and over residents in the state. Aging populations may divert government resources toward long-term care. If, however, aging is mirrored by a healthy lifespan, then in fact, public expenditures may be delayed and/or compressed. The core mission of the Lurie Center is to promote healthy aging through social engagement, physical fitness, and intellectual stimulation. Our programs counter social isolation, they counter physical frailty, and they counter cognitive decline. And in fact, any strategy that promotes healthy aging is actually a boost to the economy. It's an economic stimulus. Why? AARP has projected that by 2030, the over 50 population will contribute $13 trillion to the U.S. economy. Currently, that over 50 population is the third largest economy in the world after the total U.S. economy and the Chinese economy. So that county support is a cost-effective investment in what is known as the silver economy. We want to thank you for your continued support of the Lurie Center. We hope that you will give strong consideration as you deliberate this year for fiscal 2023-2024 funding. Thank you.
And next is Kim Crafton and David Deberly.
Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Kim Jamison Crafton. My personal address is 6116 Crabtree, Columbia, South Carolina, 29206. I'm here representing Historic Columbia, 1601 Richland Street, Columbia, South Carolina, 29201. Again, thank you all so much for this opportunity. I am here along with a number of people from Historic Columbia to say, first, thank you for the support and to ask you not only to continue, but to increase your support in the coming year. When Richland County implemented the hospitality tax almost 20 years ago, it was a game changer for organizations like Historic Columbia. With a significant increase in financial support, Historic Columbia was able to realize success as a professional museum organization. We added staff, significantly increased our tour offerings and public programs, and substantially grew our marketing efforts. Over 20 years, the return of this investment by the county is clear. Historic Columbia is a nationally recognized organization that excels in preserving places and sharing our complex stories from the past that connect us in the present and inspire our future. The transformation of our management of 2 county-owned sites cannot be overstated. The Museum of Reconstruction at the Woodrow Wilson Family Home is the recipient of national, state, and local recognition and is the only museum of its kind in the country. Over the last decade, we have raised over $5 million in private funds to transform the Hampton Preston site itself. We made dramatic changes to the exhibits, interpretations, buildings, and grounds that make this site a true destination for residents and visitors alike. The new Boyd Horticultural Center is an example of what we can do with the right mix of private and public support. While we have seen increases in county support, it simply has not kept up with the growing expenses of the organization. While we have requested increases each year to accommodate rising operations, maintenance, and personnel costs, we have not yet granted allocations that match our expenses, which are projected this fiscal year to be over $600,000. An increase in support from Richland County will allow us to sustain the important growth and improvements we have realized over the last decade. Thank you for your support and consideration with this request moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is David Deverly, and I live at 6423 Gill Creek Road, which I believe is right around the corner from the address of the prior speaker. This is not planned, but coincidentally, she said she lives at Crabtree, which is around the corner from us. I am very proud to be on the board of the Midlands Technical College Foundation. I'm very proud to be on the board of the foundation because I'm very proud of what the college does. As we all know, the college does a lot of great things, and I know about some of them firsthand because one of my daughters has attended the college. And the main thing we want to do tonight is say thank you. Thank you for your support through the years of the budget needs of the college. And we are partners because thanks to your support, your public support, we're able to go out into the community and talk to employers and foundations and individuals and ask them to supplement what you all provide. So we have a partnership. We thank you for your role in that partnership. And we thank you for considering our budget requests. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Kristen Reel, Aaron Marion.
Good evening. I am Kristen Reel, and I am a resident of Richland County, and I reside at 7648 Garners Ferry Road, Columbia, South Carolina, 29209. I am currently enrolled in the nursing program at Midlands Technical College. While on my journey to becoming a nurse, Midlands Technical College has provided me with amazing teachers who are so passionate about the subject they are teaching. While taking their courses, the passion of the subject that they are teaching, while talking about, just taking their courses, they have, given or taught in a great passion in a way that inspired me to try harder to understand, even in the moments where it was really difficult to understand what was going on. They refused to let me become overwhelmed and discouraged when something seemed a little difficult to understand. And these teachers consist of people like Ms. Cheryl Cook and Mr. Gregory Colley. And a number of others have helped me be the student that I am today. Because of the opportunities given to me by MTC, I have been able to increase my community here in South Carolina. I am able to call and meet with a true friend I've met from a class, the MTC Ambassador Assembly, or the Student Information Department. This is especially appreciated considering most of my support system is located in my hometown or my home state, Arkansas, which is 9 hours away. MTC is preparing me well for my future while also providing many resources for me as I make my way to my goal. So today I want you all to know that MTC students are grateful for the investment you have made in our future, and we appreciate you for your steady commitment to Midlands Technical College over the years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Erin Marion, and I reside at 109 Grandview Circle, Columbia, South Carolina 29229. As a graduate from MTC just last week with a major in political science, American government, I first attended Midlands Technical College 2 years ago. I was really excited to be in an environment filled with students and staff from all different ages and backgrounds. MTC's great staff and environment led me to be a part of great organizations such as MTC's Ambassadors, the Phi Theta Kappa Honor Society, and the National Society of Leadership and Success. These organizations have helped advance my hard and soft skills to help prepare me for my future. With smaller classroom sizes, great professors, and wonderful organizations, MTC's motto, "You can get anywhere from here," was proven to be true. Not only has MTC helped me through organizations and great staff, but also through scholarships to help me receive a quality education with no financial debt. MTC has not only helped me, but has and will continue to help propel other students into furthering their education for generations to come. Midlands Technical College truly exemplifies what it means to not only give students a great education, but also give students exceptional opportunities as well. On behalf of Midlands Technical College students, staff, and myself, we would like to say thank you, Richland County's forever commitment to supporting MTC. We honestly appreciate your support in investing in our higher education and helping to prepare South Carolina's future leaders. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Rebecca Lorick and Kristen Dixon.
Good evening. My name is Rebecca Lorick, and I'm here representing Pathways to Healing located at 3830 Forest Drive, Columbia, South Carolina, 29204. Like I said, I'm Rebecca Lorick. I'm the Executive Director of Pathways to Healing, formerly known as Sexual Trauma Services of the Midlands. Pathways is a rape crisis center that serves over 2,000 survivors of sexual assault each year. Over 900 of those come from Richland County. Our agency began with funding from Richland County Council, but after years of continuous support, we were removed from your budget in 2021. We are asking that that funding be restored. Earlier this year, we worked with multiple victims of a serial rapist who were hesitant to work with law enforcement. We have a full-time advocate that works at Richland County Sheriff's Department, and her role is to build strong, trusting relationships with law enforcement so victims feel more comfortable reporting their crimes after an assault. There was one victim we accompanied to the hospital after her assault. She was so scared and so afraid that law enforcement would not believe her if she reported. Her rape kit sat in a refrigerator for weeks with vital DNA evidence in the case. One afternoon, she came to our office unannounced and said she was ready to report. She said that our relationship with law enforcement, if we could trust them, she could trust them to take her case seriously. She sat with an investigator for hours, recounting the horrendous story that she went through, and an arrest was made the next weekend. The stories you hear tonight deserve to be heard, and the victims deserve to be supported by Richland County. On behalf of our clients, our staff, our board of directors, and Sheriff Leon Lott, who is also a board member, we are asking that our funding be restored at $60,000. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kristen Dixon. I'm also here with Pathways to Healing, and we're located at 3830 Forest Drive, 29204. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. I also work with Rebecca at Pathways. I'm the crisis program manager there. The funding you provide is so crucial to our organization. I'm sure it's hard to decide where the money should go, so I'm here to share some stories about how we work with people and how they've been helped by our organization. It's people who live near you, who go to school with your children, and may even live next door to you. We had two sisters who came in for counseling. Their dad was getting ready to come back from Mexico. The youngest was afraid and finally disclosed that her father had assaulted her. When the older sister found out, she disclosed that he had also assaulted her. They had no idea it was happening to each other. Dad ended up crossing the border, and because of our relationship with law enforcement, we were able to assist in his arrest by alerting the victim advocate that he was in the home. The girls continued with counseling at Pathways, and the day they faced their dad in court, I saw them grab each other's hand and read their impact statement in a room full of strangers. After it was over, the youngest looked at me and said, "My counselor would be so proud of me." Let's not forget the 12-year-old who came to the hospital with her 3 other siblings, all who had been assaulted by their mom's boyfriend. The 12-year-old had been Googling the difference between a bloated belly and a pregnant belly. That night in the hospital during her rape kit, she found out she was 5 months pregnant. It's not just children, it's adults, it's men, it's women. We do sessions with inmates who have been sexually assaulted. We go into schools to teach children about healthy relationships. We see people who were assaulted yesterday, and sometimes 75-year-old men who say they wish we had been around when they were young. So when you're considering who to distribute the money to, I hope you'll remember these stories and it will move your heart to give to our organization, Pathways to Healing. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Kayla Capps and Mary Catherine Kraft.
Good evening. My name is Kayla Capps. I reside at 2615 Cheryl Lane, Columbia, South Carolina, 29204. I'm here representing Pathways to Healing, located at 3830 Forest Drive, Columbia, South Carolina, 29204. Thank you, County Council members, for allowing us to speak. I live in District 3 and have proudly served my community by working for the Richland County Sheriff's Department, Department of Social Services, and now Department of Children's Advocacy. In all 3 roles, I have professionally and personally witnessed Pathways to Healing's dedication to serving survivors of sexual assault and abuse. Services range from hospital accompaniments for rape kits to crisis interventions and to educating child welfare professionals about consent and how to keep our community members safe. Services even extend to survivors' families. As a deputy, I took victims of sexual assault to the hospital. The process of receiving a sexual assault exam is brutal and cold. As an officer dressed in full uniform, I was assembled to strangers, to hospital staff, and a reminder to the victim that an assault occurred. To have someone show up wearing regular clothes, walking you through this process, assuring you of your power and your options, and holding your hand through the worst of it, that is true service. And it begins the healing process for many. These services cannot occur without adequate and proper funding, and I respectfully request you to invest in and fully fund Pathways to Healing's $60,000 budget request so they may continue to invest in the lives of our community members. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Mary Catherine Kraft of 306 Conover Road, Columbia, South Carolina, representing Pathways to Healing, 3830 Forest Drive. I serve on the board of Pathways to Healing. As others mentioned, we support and advocate for survivors of sexual assault and abuse in Richland County, along with Lexington, Newberry, Clarendon, and Sumter counties. I joined this board about a year ago because I'm passionate about making a positive difference in our community. And this organization, which is staffed by a small but very dedicated staff and a very mighty group of volunteers, does just that. Our volunteers, if you've heard before, literally hold the hands of people in their darkest hours, in emergency rooms, through critical medical exams and treatment, and when reporting to law enforcement. Because of our staff and volunteers, survivors get essential care and crimes get solved, like you heard earlier. And here Here are a couple other impactful statistics that illustrate how Pathways contributes to our community. Just in March alone, our volunteers served over 2,300 volunteer service hours, and our team educated more than 1,000 children and adults on ways to identify and prevent sexual assault. Our organization prioritizes service to those in need and prevention to stop sexual abuse. We are dedicated survivors in Richland County and also preventing these from occurring, and we respectfully ask for your support. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next is Jeff Brillhart and Elizabeth Wolf.
Thank you. My name is Jeff Brillhart, representing Pathways to Healing at 3830 Forest Drive, Columbia, South Carolina, 29204. I'm the Chief Financial Officer at Lexington Medical Center and currently serve on the board of Pathways to Healing as treasurer, a position I've held for the last 3 years. I just want to speak briefly just about our resources and financial stewardship. We have no debt. We get audited financial statements every year with unqualified, clean opinions. Last year, we actually had no audit adjustments, which is rare. Pathways to Healing operates on an annual budget of approximately $2.2 million. The vast majority of that, around $1.6 million, 73% of our support comes from federal sources, which can be a little bit iffy sometimes, specifically grants from the Victims of Crime Act and the Bureau of Justice Assistance. We also get approximately $260,000, approximately 12%, from various DHEC grants. The remaining $340,000, around 15%, comes from corporations, individuals, various fundraising events, and county governments such as yourselves. We run very lean. We don't have a lot of flexibility in our discretionary spending. Our cost structure is predominantly salaries and wages, which combined with benefits and payroll taxes is about 80% of our costs. Thus, when funding sources get cut, unfortunately, it's our people that get cut, and it's ultimately the victims of sexual violence who pay the price because we aren't able to provide the necessary resources that they need to heal and recover. Roughly 48% of our victims come from Richland County. We respectfully ask that Richland County consider restoring their generous funding to Pathways to Healing to help us end sexual violence through advocacy, education, and various other support services. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Elizabeth Wolf. I reside at 3430 Monroe Street in Columbia, 29205. And I'm also on the board of Pathways to Healing. I'm here to request that funding be restored. I grew up here in Columbia, moved back in 2011. My first job here was at Sexual Trauma Services of the Midlands, where I did fundraising. And then I joined the board 2 years ago, and I've continued to help with fundraising and spreading the word about the vital services that this organization provides. I want to talk about the people doing the actual work. The staff and volunteers do so much for us, for this community. They work 24/7, literally. They answer the phone at 2 a.m., as you have heard, and they travel to hospitals to help the victims, adults and children, who've experienced horrific trauma. They follow up, and they help the survivors and their loved ones navigate that winding, sometimes messy road to healing. They connect survivors to other community resources. If a survivor needs legal help, they accompany them through that process. These amazing people, these staff and volunteers, also work on prevention, as you've heard. They're like offering education, classes on healthy relationships, preventing bullying, everything so that we can become a safer community. Underserved populations can experience higher rates of sexual violence. So Pathways works hard to reach our neighbors who may need the most help but have the fewest resources. In homeless shelters, in prisons, in rural areas farther away from hospitals, with limited access to a therapist or anything else someone might need to get on that road back to help. I've been so impressed with, for our staff and volunteers, their knowledge, skills, and how much they care about survivors. They care about where we live and want to make it better. And they know that Pathways to Healing is one of those essential organizations that uplifts our entire community. And thank you all so much for your consideration.
Thank you. Next, Dr. Raj and Michael Krigline.
I'm both of those people, actually. So,
Well, could you pick just one name tonight that you're
yes,
going to give us?
one at a time, anyway. Well, first I'm reading a letter from Columbia International Festival Director Raj Alluri, 610 Pickens Street, Columbia 29201, who is watching online, by the way, with his family in New York while celebrating his son's graduation from Cornell Law School. Dear Honorable County Council Chairman, Mr. Walker, and council members, first of all, I want to thank the council for recognizing the importance of this family-friendly, affordable community event and for your unwavering financial support year after year. Without Richland County funding, there would be no Columbia International Festival. Last month, we completed our 28th annual festival, and it gets better every year. Nearly 20,000 people participated with an estimated 150 cultural groups represented at the fairgrounds. Many guests came from other parts of South Carolina and even out of state to enjoy the food, performances, cultural exhibits, bazaar, and more, and most of all, getting to know fellow Americans from many different backgrounds. There's no better place to see Richland County's wonderful diversity. With all of our nation's recent turmoil and social unrest, this event is more critical than ever, showing unity, trust, and mutual respect as we demonstrate that America is an immigrant nation and Richland County is a diverse and vibrant community. This is not an event put together by one organization, but a collaboration of nearly 100 ethnic organizations living as neighbors to showcase the Midlands' multicultural nature. Guests of all ages benefit and carry what they learn to their community and workplace relationships. I know you share our passion to bring people together, celebrating the rich cultural, ethnic, and linguistic diversity we have in the Midlands. Thank you once again for your support, and I look forward to seeing you next year, April 6 and 7, at the 29th Annual Columbia International Festival. And Raj also asked you to take a look at his email. Now, for myself, I'm Michael Krigline, 610 Pickens Street, Columbia, South Carolina 29201. I work with Raj at International Friendship Ministries. And in my 2 minutes, I hope to show why the Columbia International Festival is an important part of our diverse state. Over 400,000 foreign-born people call South Carolina home. Some 200 nationalities are represented in the Columbia area, and we speak 90 languages in our local school districts. Our wonderful universities attract over 2,000 of the world's best and brightest, who usually return as ambassadors representing Richland County to the world. South Carolina also has more foreign investment than any other state in the continental U.S., and Raj says that about 25% of the area's restaurants have foreign or ethnic connections, so a good portion of the hospitality tax is collected by restaurants owned by people born abroad or foreign corporations. All of this makes our region as multicultural as any metropolis in America. But what impresses me the most is what many guests say as they walk under the large globe as they walk into the International Festival. Wow, a festival for people like us. You know, a lot of people realize that they are different from their neighbors, but they're proud of their heritage and they genuinely want to celebrate, sharing what they love with others and learning about what others love who are also foreign-born. Teachers love it, children like my grandchildren love the interaction and the color, and everybody loves the food. Dr. Alluri has said Richland County's financial support is absolutely crucial. Due to the festival's low entrance price, it's free to children, free to many who are in need, free to the military, and the festival's sheer size. So I just want to end by joining Raj in thanking you for making the Columbia International Festival possible.
Thank you. Next is it Heidi Chavis? Chavis. And Mr. Patrick. I won't mess up your name. There you go, Nagula.
My name is Heidi Chavis. I live at 115 Jordan Creek Road, Wagner, South Carolina. And normally I come with a dirndl, but school was late and it was hot, so I brought you a wonderful picture. This is my Germany. I represent the German part of the International Fest. I'm from Frankfurt, Germany. And since my partner told you all the important stuff, I want to tell you the fun stuff. I live in Wagner. I have never lived in the country in my life. No buses, no taxis. It was really strange. We have one red light. One of the things about the International Fest, we have Global Education Day on Friday. Up until the last 2 years, because of COVID and our bus drivers that we don't have, we were not able to have it, but we're going to have it again this coming year. We have schools that bus children, and once again, Title I children, we're all free. They come from not only just South Carolina, we've had students come from Georgia. They come in the mornings. They just love it. Some of these children in the country have never even seen anything like this. It is such an experience. Me being from a foreign country, I can't even imagine just living in this little small town. And some of them don't even come to Columbia. I mean, some of the country people is just really strange. So we show them things. They would never have an opportunity to see anywhere else. And they just love it. They love all the things that they can see, they can touch and feel. And up until this year, we used to give out things too, and hopefully we can go to that again. But they leave the International Fest with a smile on their face. And a lot of people come back year after year. So like Mr. Alluri says, we hope that you will keep the funding for us. And like I said, normally I wear my dirndl, but when you come April, you come see me, I'll have my little fat self in a dirndl, and I'll have all kinds of German stuff for you to see. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Nagula. Was that right?
That's right.
Okay.
My name is Dr. Patrick Nagula. My personal address is 137 Caymans Creek, South Carolina, 29063. I teach at the University of South Carolina, Dallimore School of Business, and sits on the committee for Dr. Raj at the Columbia International Festival. Originally, I'm from Tanzania, and I've been living here in Columbia, South Carolina, 32 years now. And I'm here to ask for the Richland County Council to continue to support the Columbia International Festival, because we have built the trust that created relationship, and then that relationship created what I'll call it a cultural knowledge that has been built with the Columbia International Festival for the past 28 years, as Dr. Raj alluded in his speech that Michael just read a few minutes ago. So thank you very much, and I'm looking forward to see you, all of you, at Columbia International Festival next year. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Jae-hoon Ko. You gotta come say it so I can get it right. And then Tiffany Singleton. Cho.
Hi. Che.
Cho.
Like, are you sneezing? Che.
Cho.
There you go.
Thank you for correcting me. I appreciate that.
I get popular during the wintertime. Everybody calls my name. Anyway, once again, my name is Jae-hoon Che, and I was born in Korea, but I'm a resident of 301 Cherrywood Drive, Elgin, South Carolina, 29045 for over 30 years now. But anyway, I would like to start by thanking the Richland County Council for taking the time to listen, and also for your continued support of the Columbia International Festival. And for over 20 years, I've been a part of the Columbia International Festival Committee and continue to do so as of today. As I'm a member of the Korean community, and I am proud of living in these diverse communities in the Richland County. This is why I truly believe that it is important for Richland County to continue to support the festival for years to come, as the benefits of the festival are very important for all of us. The benefit of the festival is that it brings our communities together. Multiple cultures, customs, and people are brought together under one roof during the festival, allowing the people to learn about countries and places they may not know much about at all. I strongly believe the greatest benefit of the festival is the benefit of our community's children, and their future being exposed to all this during the festival and becoming well-experienced adults as they grow up. They have the opportunity to learn and experience different cultures, foods, and customs at the festival in one exciting and vibrant environment. And I just cannot emphasize enough that the most important part of this festival's success is the support from generous sponsors such as Council, Richland County Council. And with your support, we can continue presenting exciting, educational, and rewarding festivals to all of us for many years to come and for the brighter future of our next generations. And thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Tiffany Singleton. I reside at 1321 Riverwalk Way in Irmo, South Carolina, 29063. I'm here on behalf of Columbia International Festival, located at 610 Pickens Street in Columbia, South Carolina. So I stand before you to thank you for your past support of the festival in the previous years. The Columbia International Festival showcases music, culture, food, and performing arts of various cultures, nationalities, races, language groups, all represented in South Carolina. Since 1996, the event has been bringing together all the area's international communities to build better community race relations between various ethnic, cultural, language groups, and with the South Carolina community at large. The festival aims to help people to express the universal language of love. This is done through cultural exhibition, entertainment, great culinary dishes, the food is very amazing, and demonstrations. This year, the community spirit was even more evident. I personally enjoyed working with the committee and nearly 100 volunteers this year. It was so exciting to see masses lined up, waiting at the gate, waiting for the clock to strike the appropriate time so that they can enter and enjoy an experience. I heard comments from the attendees like, I cannot wait until next year. I learned a lot at the exhibitor booths. The food was so delicious and seasoned well. Because of your help, the event was a huge success. Your support helped many to experience a world-class event that helps build a stronger, healthier, and more vibrant community. We see daily so much chaos going on in the world and so much infectious hate. The Columbia International Festival is a highly anticipated annual event because it allows us to learn more about each other, and it also bridges positive connections and establishes ongoing friendships and partnerships and leads to some new business development. To me, and I think I can speak for others to say the festival is a breath of fresh air. It is with great sincerity.
That is your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Courtney Bailey and Anika Thomas. Courtney Bailey. All right, Ms. Thomas, you can go ahead.
Thank you, council members. Good evening. My name is Anika Thomas, Community Relations Manager for Richland Library, located at 1431 Assembly Street in Columbia, South Carolina, resident of Blythewood, South Carolina. And I want to thank you for your time this evening. By virtue of proclamation and resolution, you all have heard many of the great things that we do at Richland Library very recently this year. So I'd like to take this time to speak on behalf of one of our customers. Richland Library's commitment to equity, diversity, and inclusion continues to ring true as they have actively demonstrated a commitment to seeking new ways to support families with children with differing abilities. For Ms. Brazel from Eastover, South Carolina, and a member of the South Carolina Developmental Disabilities Council, she says that it touched her family in ways that she could not imagine. Per Ms. Brazel, we had a wonderful experience with the Safe at Home initiative. The kits were so well thought out, down to the tiniest items, and the books included will be a part of my son Jesse's home library for many years to come. Jesse is 7 years old. He's autistic, nonverbal, and developmentally delayed, along with sensory processing needs. He is also not toilet trained by virtue of his disabilities and therefore homeschooled. These kits added exponentially to his curriculum this year. They were also enjoyable and educational for my 10-year-old neurotypical granddaughter, Gabby. I truly cannot say enough thanks and positive things about this program and the services that they provide at the Richland County Library. The library does so much for the community and betters the quality of life for all of our citizens. I know there are more families that need to be impacted by these services, and I know there's more work to be done. Richland Library truly helps all citizens learn freely and impacts the lives of so many, and with your help, will continue to impact the lives of many to come. I'm asking you to please fund the library at the maximum amount possible, because we know that even then the library, like many other agencies here today, will have to make good and responsible choices to maintain their current levels. Thank you.
Thank you. Sue Berkowitz. And then Virginia Houston.
Heather McHugh is going to speak for her
Okay.
as proxy.
Heather, if you want to come on down.
Good evening, council members. Again, I'm Anika Thomas, and I'll be speaking on behalf of one of our community partners, Ms. Sue Berkowitz. Dr. Sue Berkowitz, I should say. Let's see here. Good evening, council members. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you about our community partner, Richland Library. As executive director of S.C. Appleseed Legal Justice Center, they've been an unwavering community partner, and in the fight for social justice, they've helped us to amplify our work. The Access Social Work Center at Richland Library saw 5,358 vulnerable residents of Richland County last year. The work that they do makes sure that our most vulnerable residents are seen, heard, understood, and supported in ways that we would not be able to make possible without the partnership of Richland Library. When we partner with Richland Library, we eliminate the red tape and we give direct service provision and access to those that need it most. Richland Library truly helps all citizens to access freely and impacts the lives of our most vulnerable citizens in our most needed communities. I'm asking that you please fund the library at the maximum amount possible and ensure that the library, like other agencies, continue to be good partners and good stewards of the county's funds. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Heather McHugh. I reside at 2803 Grace Street, Columbia, South Carolina 29201. I am also the Children and Teen Services Manager at Richland Library, and I want to thank you deeply. I have worked at Richland Library for almost 20 years, and it has been a privilege and an honor to serve our community in this way, and so much of what I've been able to do is through your generous support. I think we do an excellent job by showing you how we are good stewards of your money that you entrust us with, but sometimes it's hard to quantify the small everyday magic that we make happen at the library. But I'm going to share this one story that happened to me this weekend. We celebrated our 28th edition of our literary magazine, Kids in Print, and I have been the editor for a while, and I had a parent come up to me and she said, I don't know if you'll remember me, but when my daughter was 7, you gave me some strategies. She was struggling with reading, and it made all the difference. She's 17. She's published in the magazine, and she wants to speak to you. This child is amazing and is going to go on and do incredible things. But she said to me, I want to be a lawyer, but I don't just want to be any lawyer. I want to be a lawyer for the American Library Association, because public libraries have made such an impact on me that I want to make sure that every child has that opportunity. I hope that when you visited our story times, you got to see that small everyday magic. We work so hard to make sure that our families know how to support early literacy in their homes and in our child care centers. We really try hard to make sure that students, we follow their curiosity, we connect them with stories that they will love, and we provide teens safe places to figure out who they are. And those are things that are hard to talk about, but they're so vital to our community. So thank you again, and I hope that you will continue your very, very generous support of Richland Library.
Thank you. Next is Tamika Williams and Latasha Taste.
Good Good evening, County Council. I am Tamika Williams. I'm the Interim Executive Director for Richland County Recreation Commission. Our office address is 7473 Park Lane Road in Columbia. First, I would like to say thank you for all of your support for the Richland County Recreation Commission and our efforts to provide recreation opportunities and services to the citizens of Richland County. The mission of the Recreation Commission is that we are dedicated to enriching lives and connecting communities through recreational opportunities. We provide various programs and services and events for all ages and collaborate with various partners and communities around the county. We continue to be good stewards of taxpayer dollars. For example, last year we refinanced our bond referendums to save at least $1.1 million over the next 10 years. We completed renovations of 12 tennis courts at the Richland County Tennis Center. We've had successful activities and events such as Jazz Fest, Give Thanks Holiday Giveaway, back-to-school batches, after-school programs, summer camps, athletics, lifelong learning programs such as Learn to Swim and computer skill development. All while much has been accomplished, there's still more to be accomplished at this time to improve quality of life. As part of our budget requests, we need to complete more improvement projects that have been brought to our attention by our citizens. We want to provide a COLA increase to our staff and provide additional programming and resources to our communities as we deal with increasing costs of various supplies, equipment, and labor, all while dealing with new challenges as they arise. As our county population grows, we want to fill recreation gaps and continue to provide recreation opportunities that meet the needs of our communities. Your support is fundamental to our budget, and without your contribution, we could not serve our citizens. I ask that your decision would be to fully fund our requested budget for fiscal year 24. If there's anything that I can do in your district, please do not hesitate to contact me. Again, thank you for your support and it's greatly appreciated. And lastly, I hope that everyone has gotten our game plan to show your support throughout our season. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Taste.
Yes, good evening. My name is Latasha Taste. I'm the statewide director of strategic partnerships for communities and schools located at 500 Grayson Road, Columbia, South Carolina, 29210. First, we want to thank the Richland County government for the support over the past 30 years to provide wraparound services at no cost to underserved youth and families in Richland County in partnership with our Title I schools. Our diversified financial support comes from Title I allocations from our local school districts, foundations, corporations, and individuals to create access to educational supports and critical resources like food, housing, health care, and counseling. We are here to request your continued support and a recommendation of $135,000 from Council's general funds to continue CIS program for underserved youth ages 5 to 17. We leverage county dollars to match the cost to provide a continuum of care to 4,137 youth and case manage 270 students in need of one-on-one intervention in 6 Title I schools in Richland County. We place 6 full-time trained site coordinators in local schools to advocate for students and families, locate community resources through the utilization of local businesses, and work closely with state agencies, our school administrators and teachers, and community volunteers to support 3-tiered level of services year-round. With your support, we can continue to meet the unique and critical needs of students who live in poverty and who face a greater risk of dropping out of our Title I schools. I thank you for your time, representation of our team, and consider your support for this fiscal year 24. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chair, that concludes all individuals that have signed up to speak this evening.
Public hearing is now closed. Next item on the agenda is item 3B, an ordinance authorizing the levying of ad valorem property taxes, which together with the prior year's carryover and other state levies and any additional amount appropriated by Richland County Council prior to July 1, 2023, will provide sufficient revenues for the operations of Richland County government during the period from July 1, 2023 through June 30th, 2024. That public hearing is now open. Madam Vice Chair, anyone sign up to speak?
Mr. Chair, the sign-in sheet this evening was for both items, so all people have spoken.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. That public hearing is now closed. Next item on the agenda, adjournment. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved to properly second. It's non-debatable. Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Branham?
Yes.
Pugh?
Yes.
McBride? Yes. Livingston?
Yes.
Teratio?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Barron?
Yes.
Walker?
Yes.
Mackey?
Yes.
English?
Yes.
Newton?
Yes.
Motion approved.
We are adjourned.